Hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video we are going to be talking about some specific tank heroes we have seen way too many people playing wrong. Doesn't matter if you're low or high elo, these mistakes are going to be costing you. But don't worry, because we're going to break it down and help you fix it. But if you guys are really looking to take your Overwatch game to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there we have top level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides possible to make you the best player you can be. Doesn't matter if you want to get better positioning, decision making, aim, learn new heroes, it doesn't matter. We have guides for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today. But diving into things, what are the tanks we are talking about? Well, we need to talk about the true tanks, the ones that are extremely tanky, live forever, and yet people still do not play them this way, losing incredible value on them, especially on maps in which the objective can force the enemies to make mistakes, such as push maps. Now for this, we're going to be talking about Diva, Orisa, and Reinhardt. Yes, there are other extremely tanky tanks, such as Reinhardt, but we usually see them played generally how they should be. However, the three heroes I just mentioned way too often are played outside their comfort zone. So let's start off with Diva. So what does Diva do? Well, as you know, she has excellent mobility, burst damage from up close, and the ability to eat most projectiles. So then how are people messing up on her? It seems pretty straightforward. Just fly where you gotta fly, protect your team with defense matrix, and then play the high ground. But let's take a map such as Dorado for example. This map is made of high grounds. Playing Diva on defense here is an excellent idea. The issue is with the large health pool you have as Diva, great mobility as well as the defense matrix to keep you safe, we never see people dropping to the cart just to stall it for the sake of stalling it. I mean, come on guys, it's an objective-based game, take it literal. When playing a hero with the stall potential that Diva has, where you can just choose to not fight and stall for upwards of 30 seconds for free, allowing your supports to farm all charge on you as you drop down, stall cart, fly back up to safety, there really isn't a better way to play her. And on top of that, Diva's ultimate is incredibly misused as well. Yes, it has one-shot potential, sure, going for some plays with it is great, but the overall consistency of going for kills with it is so little. You must plan to use it as a remech tool. Because you stalled a point for an entire minute or two over the course of a game and have received your ultimate because of it, you can limit test your life, and if you die, just ultimate. You could even use your exploding mech as cover in a pinch, and there, boom, you have another mech and are ready to stall again. Diva really is a stalling god, and you should be looking to exploit that in every single game. There really isn't a better way to play this hero. But alright, what about Reinhardt? Big tanky guy, big rectangular shield, easy to find value for your team. However, you may find a lot of the time playing with your team leads to the same result over and over again. It is no secret that Reinhardt is an incredible hero for creating space for his team and allowing them to gain massive value. However, sticking with the team is not always the best to do this. Again, imagine you're on a payload map. Reinhardt can stick on the cart longer than pretty much every hero, as he can use both the payload as a shield and his actual shield. This is so much stronger on attack than defense, as he can look to gain flank angles onto the enemy team as he pushes solo with relative safety of his support's line of sight. And when making such an attempt, ensuring you understand the position of each enemy and the amount of time you have to make the flank attempt is key to make sure the enemies are where you expect them to be once you make it around the map. This is especially helpful when looking to shatter, especially against enemy tanks with the ability to block or any other supports with CC, which would make it significantly harder to get a shatter off otherwise. But now let's talk about one of his most misunderstood abilities, his charge. Ryan's charge has to be one of the most misinterpreted abilities in the game, which is understandable. I mean, they completely changed it in Overwatch 2. You can steer charge and Tokyo drift everywhere, you can cancel it on command, meaning it can be used for movement to start slapping people with your hammer, not just as a pin tool, and it can be used for setting up extremely fast shatters, reaching flank angles faster, and even put enemies out of position. With the amount of options you have with this ability, further than just looking for a pin, the more creative you can become with your options on Reinhardt, the better. As long as, of course, you aren't completely inting for your plays. There is some value to limit testing and understanding what you can and can't do on this hero, so try learning the extent of these plays. Gather all the information you can when looking for the riskier plays, and try to understand how easily punished you might be depending on the enemy's team composition. Enemies like Zenyatta and Hanzo will delete you almost instantly if you're playing too reckless. As for Reinhardt's shield, it is easy to fall into the trap of overusing it to help your team. It can actually be used more as a self-sustained tool than something to help your team, as again, you want to be looking for very aggressive and creative plays on him. You will certainly need the extra sustain while you're supports are making their way to help you. This is where the true value comes out of Reinhardt, edging on death so that the enemies focus you harder and they're just not able to finish the kill before your team demolish them for free. And now last but not least, Orisa, the battle cattle herself. She is the great side of both Diva and Reinhardt because she doesn't have a shield and she doesn't have the vertical mobility of the others have, but man can she make the enemies look at her. You can gain some great value looking for spears and one-shot potential onto enemies, but the absolute best way to play this hero is to force enemies to look at you. At this point, you just want to be an Instagram model and starved for attention. I mean, seriously, spin around the place, emote, do whatever it takes to get these guys shooting at you and only you, not your team. As a tank, your job is to make space and create pressure for your team, and Orisa does this in a much better way than just shooting the enemies and existing in the front line. You really need to limit test going solo in the middle of the enemy team and living afterwards. But some basic mistakes we see with Orisa's abilities is not using spin before fortify. As we said before, you want to be in the middle of the enemy team, and we mean that quite literally. Your fortify allows you to live under insane circumstances, especially when your armor is still up, and your spin will get you to where you need to be with almost complete safety. Once you use your spin and fortify, at the end of your fortify's duration, when you would be most fragile, you'll have another spin, which allows you to get to safety and wait for your fortify. Then you can just rinse repeat. Her ultimate is also quite misunderstood. It is a great one-shot tool, but generally it can be quite difficult to pull off. Ulting the enemy tank is a mistake we see far too often, as well as not looking for those targets with a lack of mobility, but it's crucial you place yourself in the direction of where the enemies will go for safety. When ulting as Orisa, enemies are pulled to the side of you which is closest to their current location, which means if you ult behind them, enemies are forced to sprint in the direction of your team to escape the damage, giving your teammates easy target practice. So how do you get behind your enemies with relative safety? Well, what did we just say? Limit test your life, spin in there, fortify. Once your fortify ends, use the ultimate. It fortifies you yet again, making you extremely difficult to kill and allowing for great kill opportunities for either you or your team. Remembering the one-shot zone for your ultimate is around 140 and 150% charge. Overall, these heroes are generally played extremely passively or look to help their team in ways so much worse than otherwise available. Learning to take over matches means to understand the best play at each time, and practicing each of these tips will certainly help you understand when they can be best opted for. But let me know if you guys think any other heroes are misunderstood, and maybe we'll do a video covering that. But if you guys want to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Overwatch tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash the like and subscribe button. Thanks all for watching. Once again, it's Gaming, and I'll see you guys in the next one. But if you guys are really looking to take your Overwatch game to the next level, then you need to check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top-level coaches creating the best, most highly informative guides possible to make you the best player you can be. Doesn't matter if you want to get better positioning, decision-making, aim, learn new heroes, it doesn't matter. We have guides for you. So click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, and start to improve today.